Nope.
It's on! Hey everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of your weekly look at what's going in the world at Disney theme park, the show we called Disney Parks Talk Live. And now that I just hear myself say that out loud, we perhaps should get a more creative name. That's kind of boring. My name is Doobie Mosley. I am the co-founder here at Laughing Place. Over there is my wife, Rebecca, the other co-founder. How you doing, Rebecca?
I'm doing well, honey. I'm not as cold as you.
Oh man, I'm cold. Down there, we have the vice president of doing things that stay in Vegas, Mike Celestino.
Hi.
And down below, we have the vice president of Britain, Luke Manning, sitting in for Jeremiah today. How you doing, Luke?
Somehow I knew that was going to be the title. You're predictable, Doobie. Very predictable.
I am. One thing I'll always say when I have Luke is he's British. It's just so cool. I like British people. You guys are cool. It's a compliment.
Well, at least you like me. That's something.
Oh, someone's calling. Nothing worth answering. I like you, Luke. Yeah, you're very good. And tall and British.
I am.
Right.
I am.
We're going to talk about what's going on in the world of theme parks. Where to start? I don't know. I feel like nothing really stands out from this past week above anything else. But why don't we start with a brand new nighttime show at Epcot? It's called Luminous. Luke, have you seen it?
I have.
So it is a big deal. A new nighttime show replacing Harmonious, replacing Epcot Forever, ultimately replacing Reflections of Earth. Luke has had the opportunity to watch it how many times so far?
Just the once.
Just once so far. And so let us talk to him about kind of what it is in a relatively spoiler-free way, and then your impressions of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an Epcot fireworks show, and if you've seen, that's it. If you've seen Illuminations and Harmonious, I think you're going to find that this is a little bit closer to Illuminations. It takes a lot simpler of an approach to a fireworks show, where Harmonious had a lot of projection screens and screen surfaces. This focuses more on number one, telling a story, and just really using fountains, lasers, fireworks, and that sort of stuff to do it. So it does it in a very tasteful way, and I think the integration of fireworks and the Disney music works pretty well here. The show starts off kind of similar to Illuminations, or to the original Illuminations, where they have greetings from all of the different countries around World Showcase saying hello in their native language, set to a fireworks launch. And as the show goes on, it's kind of the story of the human experience, and it actually gets to like some dark and sad parts of the human experience at times. And I think that the Disney music that they selected, save for a couple of examples, works pretty well, and doesn't really, it's not like, it doesn't feel like a clip show like Harmonious did. This feels more like Disney music used to tell a story.
Oh, nice.
So it does not have mist screens or any sort of projection at all, right? It's strictly fireworks and lasers and such.
And impressive fountains in the middle, like fountains that reach pretty high up. I mean, nothing on the scale of like World of Color, but it's a nice addition to the fireworks story.
So no like visual IP.
No, at least not that I saw. I haven't seen any examples of that, and I didn't see it in person.
Huh.
So I'm pretty sure that it's all audio based. And there's also like, as far as I can remember, there's no like, you know, Peter Pan coming in and saying
Mhm.
"Off to Neverland" or anything like that.
Okay.
It's all the music.
Wow.
And the music is, I know there's some original stuff, and then there's movie stuff. Do they use any theme park songs in it?
There's no theme park songs in the show itself, other than the original two that are created. The one at the beginning is called Heartbeat Symphony, and that one, that's one that a couple of our reporters got to see live. We have a video up of that. That is a good song. The song at the end, I don't think worked. And I can't remember what it's called, but it just didn't feel like a finale. It came to the point where the big fireworks started going off.
Yeah.
The moment where you can kind of tell, oh, this is the finale, and it didn't feel like a finale.
Felt like it should have kept going for a while.
Yeah, or they could have. I think the show itself was fine. It just didn't. I don't think the song worked very well for that particular show.
So it's interesting. I mean, Harmonious to me felt like they were like swinging for the fences. We are creating a big show. And this, from what I've heard, and it didn't go over well, you know, certainly with grand scope, it just didn't go over well. This feels like they're keeping this much more low key, as you said, in the vein, maybe even less so than Reflections of Earth, but going back even further than that with Illuminations. So it was just kind of a nice, fun firework water show at the end of the day, not some huge spectacular that, you know, everyone considers the center of their day.
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of, I would say my opinion on it kind of falls somewhere in the middle of what you just said.
Okay.
I don't think it's necessarily low key, but it's definitely not like a big, because Harmonious was a long show. That was about 25 minutes long. This is about 16 to 17, so it's a lot brisker of a pace. And I think it's better for it. I think if it was any longer, I don't think it would be helped at all by that. So yeah, I think it's a good addition to Epcot. There's a couple of scenes in the middle that kind of feel, you know, like there's a scene with "You've Got a Friend in Me" and "Friend Like Me," and the song choices just seem out of place with everything else used in the show. Some of the other things you got are like "You'll Be in My Heart" from Tarzan, "Into the Unknown" from Frozen 2, "When Will My Life Begin" from Tangled. So it's more like emotional songs, and then you get those two that just kind of don't fit in with the rest.
Yeah, good question. So we know, we've heard that at the very, very end, actually at the end of the show, comes some of the walkout music, I guess. There's an acoustic version of "One Little Spark" that they play. What did you think of that?
I've heard it on Spotify since, but I didn't actually hear it in the park. We had it out straight after the fireworks.
You wanted to beat that post-firework traffic. Yeah.
It's true.
So a lot of people first heard it at that show, but apparently it pre-existed the show. I'm trying to find out exactly where. But yeah, you can find it on Spotify. If you want to hear it, we actually have an article that links to it and kind of gives some info. I'll put in the chat for you.
Is my recollection correct that the majority of our team who have seen it in person spoke highly of the show? I know we've had a couple who were not impressed and kind of like meh. And I know one of our team was just like, no, that was a miss for them.
We had Jeremiah and Tony on the day after. They both covered it for us on the debut, December 5th. Jeremiah was, woohoo, this is awesome, yay, woohoo. And Tony was, that was pretty good.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I put myself more on the level of Tony. It was really good.
Save yourself.
Which is not something I usually say. But yeah, I it's an enjoyable thing, but it is not something I'm going to return to that often.
Okay. Okay.
And
not destination entertainment for Luke.
What did you feel about
Okay, gotcha.
What did you feel about Reflections of Earth?
One of the greatest shows of all time.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
hard. I feel
exactly.
sorry for Epcot. That's hard to follow.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Light magic. Someday they'll just bring it back. Okay. Another thing that's going on.
Oh, did we lose Doobie? We did.
Oh yeah, we lost him in a very awkward position too, just kind of smiling off to the side.
Yeah, and we were about to move on to the next story, but I think he was going to talk about the fact that World Showplace has appeared. So, Luke, you've obviously had a chance to see this as well.
Yeah, so I'm going to be that that awkward person that corrects you, and it's World Celebration.
Okay.
Am I back, by the way?
Yes, you are. You're back.
You are.
What's frustrating is I could hear and see everything perfectly. It just couldn't transmit. So did we lose you? I'm like, no, you didn't lose me. I'm right here. Anyway, go ahead. World Celebration.
World Celebration. First off, I can't. I know it's our next topic, but I kind of can't talk out one without talking about the other. So I'll talk about the music, which debuted with World Celebration, but is now a new soundscape for all of the front half of Epcot. So you hear it as soon as you walk into the park, as soon as you walk up to the park, even before the security area. But it debuted with World Celebration, and that music really helped set the pace for World Celebration. It goes along with it so well. I think World Celebration is a really pretty area. And I think it's a lot more impressive to look at in person than it is via photos. And also it is helped so much by the music. It's one of my favorite music loops from recent years. It's the Epcot theme, which we've heard a few times since 2019. And you can hear it. You've been hearing it at night on Spaceship Earth for a couple of years now. But that theme is kind of woven into a symphonic score that plays throughout World Celebration and World Nature and World Discovery, and it works so well. When I was there on the second day, so the line to meet with Walt, get a picture with Walt, wasn't as crazy as it was on the first day, but you are getting people waiting quite a while to speak with Walt or to sit with Walt.
Wait, time out. This is the second time you made this flip. Do you actually go up there and talk to Walt? You don't just sit for a picture?
You don't. I just keep making the same slip, apparently.
I mean, I know most people don't. I'm curious if you do. Do you take it as a moment?
I mean, maybe. Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but maybe maybe that's what'll happen. I'll just slip into a
little time
psychic moment there with Walt.
Mike Celestino, I feel the need on this topic to bring you in. When you go to partner statue, when you see partners, do you kind of say a few words with them as you pass by?
Yeah, I ask him what I should have for lunch.
Is he helpful?
Occasionally. He doesn't. He
always points. He always points you out of the park.
Right.
Get over there.
Given Mike's diet, that might be appropriate. So, back to your car.
That's a really cool Disney Plus hat.
Oh, thanks.
No worries.
I don't remember where I got it.
I was gonna say, do we have anybody have anything to declare today?
No, but it's cool.
That's
what I was thinking. The same thing, Kyle. Does Walt know what a gluten-free?
I got no time for you. Get out of my park. Okay, so World Celebration. Obviously, that's where you meet Walt Disney, but it's also kind of this cool. During the day, it looks like kind of this cool respite from the hubbub of the park, and then it kind of comes alive at night with some really fancy lights and stuff. Is that kind of accurate?
Yeah, so during the day, it's just like a pleasant little area you can wander. There's a lot of charging ports. There's a lot of places to sit. And now that area is open as well, you can head directly from, say, Creation Shop or Connections Cafe. You can walk directly from one of those, cut right through the gardens, and head over to the land or to the sea. So it's a lot easier to get around Epcot now.
Yay!
And yeah, that I mean, that's probably the biggest relief of this. But the gardens themselves are really, really nice, and they take on a whole different vibe after night. One thing we should mention as well, and we have a video of this, is that the projection, or the not the projection shows, but the lighting shows on Spaceship Earth are timed with the lighting in World Celebration. So now, previously you would only see and hear the lighting shows from the front side of the Spaceship Earth, but now you can also hear and see it from the back, with the lighting in World Celebration set to that as well. So it adds a lot of kinetic energy to the area.
Come on, YouTube. That was almost timed perfectly to show this, except for the game buffering.
Oh yeah.
All right. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's not that dark. I'm try not to get frustrated.
Yep. No.
Those the one time I saw the show, the lights were stuck on the white the whole time.
Oh,
the lights around this area, so they didn't change. But apparently they got that fixed later in the night.
Okay, well, let us move on to something at the Disney. Thank you, Luke, very much for joining us, for being, not that you're leaving, don't get out of here, but for joining us and being our eyes on the ground for that. I think one other announcement they did make was related to Communicore, which kind of was the last area that we're still kind of waiting for in this Epcot upgrade. Is that right, Luke?
Yes, Communicore Hall and Plaza, which are going to be, they're under construction right now in the area that used to be Club Cool and used to be the Fountain View Starbucks. So that area now is going to be both a Mickey meet and greet, Mickey and Friends meet and greet, as well as like flexible space that they can use for festivals. So there might be exhibits in there for festivals. There might also be food booths and that kind of thing. And then there's going to be a performance stage out in the plaza area. So I think once that area opens up, this will finally feel complete and feel like a cohesive whole. Because you still have those walls up that kind of like, you know, dead end a little bit there. But once that's up and running, I think we'll have a beautiful park.
This has been going on for so long. It is going to be so weird to go back to Epcot and just not enter the park and see a ton of walls and security suits everywhere. It's been pre-2020, right? Since those walls went up.
2019, I think.
Goodness, wow, that's exciting. That's exciting. We need another monorail. I don't think we've had a monorail tour since all the walls have come down. I think we need to get that. Okay.
We didn't mention. Unless you did and I didn't hear it, but Communicore has been delayed to 2024.
Okay.
That's what we're
sorry.
about. Yeah. It was originally supposed to open at the end of this year, but now it won't open up until next year.
Next year, which is almost here.
Yeah. As Gio points out, maybe Festival of the Arts or Flower and Garden will see the arrival of the.
Based on the construction, I would go closer to Flower and Garden.
You almost said Food and Wine, didn't you?
You know, Food and Wine is. I think it will be Food and Wine. Knowing Disney timelines on things, I think it will be Food and Wine.
Wow.
All right. So Mike Celestino, how you doing, Mike?
Good, great. How are you?
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Yay!
What are we up
Happy
to?
birthday!
2 days
45?
ago. 44 this year.
44. Wow, you're looking good for 44. I know.
What a youngin'.
Man. All right. While you were gone last week, a few things happened at Disneyland you probably heard about. They announced their entire slate for 2024. You now know exactly when you're going to be working next year, which is probably kind of helpful for you. So we obviously talked about that quite a bit last week. But then the next day after our show, they announced what the 2024 Disneyland After Dark lineup would be. So why don't you talk a little bit about what exactly Disneyland After Dark is, and we'll go through the lineup real quick.
Disneyland After Dark is an after-hours ticketed event where there's a lot of different activities you can do. There's unique food and merchandise and photo ops and character meet and greets, and usually a bunch of the attractions are open, if not all the attractions. And there's some cool lighting projection effects. It's just a neat, different way to experience the parks. That it's just a departure from your ordinary day at Disneyland.
So they've done these in the past. They're bringing back some events that they've done before, but they're also introducing a new one. So let's quickly go through the calendar. They're giving us all the dates right up front. They run select dates January through June. So they're starting. The first group is Disneyland After Dark Sweethearts Night with 3 dates in January and 5 dates in February, including Valentine's Day. Have you done Sweethearts Night with your sweetheart, Mike?
Yes, I have done literally every Disneyland After Dark that has ever happened, except 80s Night, which I missed because I was sick. Sweethearts Night is the one that Tori usually comes with me for, because it would be weird for me to go alone, I guess.
Is it a good date place?
I think so. It's also, I remarked the first Sweethearts Night that there were very few kids in the park. I think that was less true this last year. But it is certainly fewer children than you would ordinarily see, even at one of these events. It's mostly couples, like you might guess.
Yeah, interesting promo for Sweethearts Night. Have some of them be adults only. Not to make them adults only, but just to have no kids in the park. I wonder how that would go over with some of the guests. Okay, so then following Sweethearts Night, we have the brand new one. No, we don't. I scrolled too fast. Yes, we do. Sorry, everyone. Yes, we do. The brand new one, Disney Channel Night, March 5th and 7th. So this one is brand new this year, and they are going to be celebrating the Disney Channel. I know the specific themes they mentioned were things like Phineas and Ferb. You remember what else, Rebecca? I'm sorry.
No.
There was a High School Musical pep rally. I know that. I think something involving zombies, maybe Teen Beach Movie. A lot of mid 2000s nostalgia. There's going to be a wand photo activation where you'll be able to do that.
That's what I remember.
That's the big one, and that's going to be huge. They better have more than one of those because I think that's going to be huge.
Maybe I misunderstood, but didn't Tony say he made that up?
I sure hope not.
Okay.
Okay. Now we got to find out.
No. There is a glowing wand opportunity. You step behind a glass and you raise your wand, and it will have the paint the glowing colors in the air around you. That is part of the announced opportunities that we've seen for Disney Channel After Dark.
Yeah.
Disneyland After Dark Disney Channel Night. But they also focused on Halloween Town, Lizzie McGuire, Teen Beach Movie, Camp Rock. Those are the ones that have been specifically mentioned previously, right? That's what we saw last year with Disney Channel Night, right? Is that what you're talking about? Am I jumping in here with the right thing?
Well, this is a new event, so there wasn't a Disney Channel Night last year, I don't believe.
Right. There was not. This is a brand new one. Yeah.
Thank you. Yep.
But the information sounds correct from what I remember reading.
And the wand is definitely a for sure thing.
Oh, I see. There's a typo in our article, so that's what I need to send over to Kyle, because I am correct. I'm reading this event article for 2024 Disneyland After Dark Disney Channel, but it lists it as being March 5th and 7th of 2023. So that's where I got
that'll do it.
Who's the author on that piece?
No. I'm not doing that, but I'll let Archie know. But that's where my confusion came.
Anyway, so that's the brand new Disney Channel Night. Only 2 days. I think this one's going to be really popular. Very excited. Tickets go on sale for that one on December 12th. Hey, that is tomorrow for Magic Key holders. And then December 14th for everyone else. And then come April and May, there's going to be Star Wars Night. I'm sure Mike's excited about that as always.
Yeah, always excited for Star Wars Night to see what they're cooking up. Usually they add at least a couple of new characters, new photo ops, and it's going to be during Star Wars Season of the Force, which is returning to the park for the first time in years. So excited to see what they've got going for that too. You guys probably talked about that last week.
Yes, we did. There are five dates in April and then 3 in May. Not May the 4th, because that's a Saturday next year, but May 2nd, close enough. Also May 7th and May 9th. So awesome. And then finally in June, go ahead.
No, is that the one that led us to them to talk about the fact that there's going to be a score for the fireworks from Galaxy's Edge? Is that what prompted that, or is that separate? Because I've been out of town, so I'm still catching up.
No, that had the score for Galaxy's Edge as well as the introduction of another Star Tours destination. What are your thoughts on that, Mike? Being able to go to Galaxy's Edge and see the existing fireworks, but with accompanying Star Wars score.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't been doing that since the very beginning, actually, because it seems like kind of a no-brainer. Really excited to check that out for sure.
Yeah, and that's set. Both that and the Star Tours are set to debut during that Seasons of the Force, but they use the word debut, so I'm presuming they're going to outlast that, not just be a temporary thing. And then finally, the last two Disneyland After Dark events next year are June 18th and 20th, and those are the Pride Nights returning again next year. So,
did they give specific locations that are coming to Star Tours, or just the generic new?
We just know
location?
that it will be something from Ahsoka.
Ooh, where do you want to go, Mike?
Well, I mean, there's the orange tree planet that the name is escaping me at the moment, but I think that visually that would be the most interesting one. The planet from the last half of the season is not terribly visually. I mean, there's that cool the witch's castle and the statues and stuff. So maybe that would be neat.
And we'll get the
maybe going along with
right?
Purgle seems like a likely addition. Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to call them space whales, so I'm glad you said it first.
Either way.
Don't they call them space whales in Ahsoka? I
think they call them star whales.
Oh,
I want to say
star whale. Okay, space. It's not Space Wars. So Star Whales. Makes sense. Yeah.
In Spaceballs, they call them space whales.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Baseballs the whales.
Tarzan's treehouse is gone, but the director of Tarzan had something to say about it. Rebecca, would you like to take this one, or am I okay for this?
Oh, I just thought it was. I stumbled on it on Twitter because I follow the director of Goofy Movie and Tarzan, Kevin Lima, and he was just tweeting that he was sad to see it go, and I thought, well, of course he is, because I mean that was his heart and soul goes into a creation like this. But then I thought it was kind of cute how he says, nice to see they left an homage in one of the rooms. So at least it isn't totally out of sight, out of mind. But I like to see people passionate about their projects, and so this made my heart skip a little beat. And so I shared it with the team, and we shared it with all of you. So there you go.
And he said, does your average family visiting Disneyland have any connection to the 1960 film? Which somewhere in the back of his mind, he's got to be realizing his movie is now 24 years old. Yeah. Luke wasn't even born yet when Tarzan came out. That's amazing.
He was 5.
All right.
Barely
born.
By the way, speaking of barely born, I have a niece. But the best part was my sister-in-law ended up going into labor in the hospital where we delivered Gideon, and you have a view of the fireworks of Epcot's fireworks. So Luminous and all. No, it's Luminous. That's the name of the new show, right? Yeah. So it's pretty nifty. Pretty nifty way to come into the world with a view of the Epcot fireworks out the window of your hospital.
Celebration of her birth.
So fun. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
That's fine. Disney Vacation Club, they had their annual condo association meeting because they are an actual condo association. So sometimes a little bit of news came out of that. The biggest news that came out, I think, this time was H2O. Every Disney fan's favorite way to clean themselves, except for my wife.
Am I the only Disney fan who does not like H2O?
Oh, it smells so good.
Really? Oh, I just do not like it. I never have. I always started packing my own stuff.
I always love to steal some of that from the hotel room.
No. Oh, and
My,
it's worse
my
on the cruise because I have to make sure I pack stuff for the cruise because it's like there is really no other option once you're there.
Do you have an opinion, Mike, on H2O products?
No.
Because you're normal.
Don't like it,
But
especially
a lot of Disney fans love it. The company is going out of business, but Disney has announced that they have purchased the formulations and will continue to supply it, which is just one of those little things that I gotta believe makes so many diehards happy.
Yeah.
So way to go, Disney, on that. They
everybody
give a little update on the Fort Wilderness cabins that they are coming next year. Got some interior concept art. What do you guys think of this? So we've made fun endlessly about the exterior of the cabins. What do you think of the interior?
I prefer
They look
rustic.
nice,
I
but
understand.
where are the bunk beds?
So you can see this is a Murphy bed right there. I presume the bunk
Mhm.
beds just are in a room not shown.
If they're even still there.
Yes, one would hope. I mean, you still got to sleep the same number of people, I would think. You seem less than enthused, Luke.
I really like. I stayed at Fort Wilderness just about a month ago, and I really enjoy the rustic feel of it. But I do think it needs an update.
Mhm.
I don't know if it needs this much of an update.
So I'm going to show real quick just the concept art for the update. And so you don't find this too rustic? That's the problem?
The outside is okay.
No.
I just think the inside could do with being a little closer to how it currently is.
This looks like a shipping container.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, here it is from another angle. You can give your opinion right there.
You're terrible.
I mean, if you get free beignets with your stay, then maybe I'll come around to it.
Hey, Gio has the same feeling. It looks like
No, it does. It looks like a. And this comes from somebody whose first dorm looked pretty much like a tool shed. So
I hear they're building it. They're putting it on a ship where they actually create it, and while it's transferring over, they're putting the interior in, and then they just place it in place with a crane.
that'd be funny. It's like all these, like, we have those pictures of the swan being put on top of the hotel. We have all these pictures of like helicopters bringing in the various cabins. Yeah, okay.
But that's legit how they did the Contemporary back in the day. They slid them right in.
Yep.
All right, what is next? Eat, the new quick service place. I'm so excited to try this, Rebecca. Quick service Indian food, where Wolfgang Puck used to be in the marketplace at Disney Springs, Disney World, over in the back by the Christmas shop, is now a quick service Indian place called Eat, EET, all lowercase. And it just looks great. They have bread service.
Woohoo!
I'm for Gideon to try it. And have you been here yet, Luke?
No, I haven't. Indian food is probably one of my least favorite cuisines. So I don't know if everyone else in my family loves it, but I think I'll be going to Earl of Sandwich when they go there.
Wow.
Mike, I know you're not going to Earl of Sandwich. Are you a fan of Indian food?
I can't say that I've had much Indian food, but I'd be willing to try it if it's gluten-free. We will be down at Walt Disney World in a few weeks, so maybe we'll take a look at the menu.
Yeah, go check out.
I know they do have a lot of like build your own options there, so
That's what
there
I was
might be
saying, yeah.
some choices for you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had gluten-free naan? Because naan is like one of God's gifts to the world.
I can't say that I have.
Eat is open. How about Summer House, Luke? Is that more to your liking?
I will be honest with you, I don't know much about the menu for it, but based off of that picture, yeah.
Okay.
And the breakfast plate looks good. This also looks like somewhere that's probably going to have, a lot more options compared to, or at least a lot more options of different types of cuisine. So I think this will be somewhere I'm more likely to go than eat.
Oh, they're gonna have strawberry waffles, apple cinnamon waffles, a short rib hash. So that comes with 2 sunny side up eggs, some caramelized onions. That's their brunch stuff. And then during lunch,
I'm sold. I'm sold on that.
yeah, and then during the lunch, you'll find like raw fish options. So things like poke bowls or sashimi, along with sandwiches and burgers. Looks like some spaghetti pomodoro as well. So, something called Southern Comfort. They have a whole section of that with picnic fried chicken and herb chicken breast.
Yeah, it looks good. There's so much at Disney Springs.
And the kids menu has 2 different types of mac and cheese. Oh,
what?
No, I'm sorry. It's a grilled cheese sandwich and then a mac and cheese.
Okay.
So, okay, that makes more sense. I was like, what? 2 types of mac and cheese?
Yeah, kids don't deserve all that.
Ooh, specialty cocktails.
All right, I want to ask Mike something.
Please do.
Because he's here today. Legoland, you got to go, right, for their Christmas stuff?
Yes, this would have been about a week and a half ago. They did the tree lighting ceremony, which was in a different section of the park than previously. It was right inside the entrance to Legoland, California, Legoland, San Diego. And the tree was entirely brick built out of both Lego and Duplo pieces. They also had some special guests there. You can see on the left of that image from the Hallmark channel. I don't know those movies, so I didn't recognize them, but they were regular performers in the Hallmark Channel movies. So you may want to look up their names. I don't recall what they were. And there were also characters, Lego Christmas time holiday characters. There's Santa Claus there. There's a gingerbread man. There's they had the dancers. They had a live band, which was great. And there was the new character introduced was the reindeer costume girl who came out during the pre-show, which we also have a video of. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Glad to be there for that. It was a nice fireworks display at the end when they lit the tree. That's my second year in a row doing that event, and I've enjoyed it both times.
And this is, of course, Legoland, California.
Yes.
In Carlsbad? Is that where it's at?
Yes, that's correct.
Did you get to just see the Christmas decor in general down there?
So only like 1/4 of the park was open for the event, and I got to walk around that part and see what the decorations were, but there wasn't a whole lot to see outside of that main entrance area. I'm sure there's more around the rest of the park that I was not able to access.
Holidays are going on, starting November 18th and going through January 7th, which reminds me, who here is still alive for Whamageddon? Anybody?
For what, Geddon?
Whamageddon?
Like the 80s group, Wham?
Yeah, it's where beginning December 1st, you are destroyed if you hear Wham's Last Christmas. So they call it Whamageddon, and you see how long you can last beginning after Thanksgiving without hearing Last Christmas.
Oh, well, there's like a cover of that going around now. Like there's a new
covers don't count. Covers don't count. It has to be Wham's version.
I don't know that I have heard it this year.
So you're still alive.
Okay.
I am aware of Whamageddon, but it's not something I actively partake in because I just like listening to Christmas music too much.
Yeah, so does Doobie. That's why it was very funny to me that he got taken out by the fact he was listening to the Holly channel on Sirius XM. Like, what do you expect? Come on.
Yep. That's one of the generic ones that we'll play.
But I love the song. Last Christmas is a great song. So you said, Luke, you love Christmas music?
Oh, yeah.
Christmas shoes.
Sorry?
The Christmas shoes song.
Do I know that song? No, actually.
You don't know Christmas shoes? I'm going to buy these shoes.
I'm not a fan, but it's one of Doobie's favorites. Well, he'll send you a link at some point. It is.
Okay.
Doobie's passionately in love with the song.
It's a classic.
Not a fan.
Would you compare it to the DVC song?
Probably.
Nothing compares to the DVC song, which they got to hear live at that DVC event, by the way.
Did they really?
To hear it live.
Oh.
No video has shown up. If anyone knows where there's a video of that, please share it with me. But they got to hear it live. I'm reason enough to buy any DVC now, just to be able to hear that performed live.
They finally
nothing as good as that, Luke. Nothing as good.
Nothing's gotten Doobie to sign up for a DVC until live performance of that song at events. Okay.
I bet everyone was like, they're like holding up the mic for the people to sing along. People got their lighters out. Welcome home.
There's this
I'm sure that happened.
Thinks it's your fault. There's this small part of me that thinks it's your fault. Like somebody accidentally on you and think people like it. So it's like, gotta play it again.
Read the comments on the video. People love it.
I know they do. Like
if they
you.
don't, the comment is deleted. Alrighty. And then Mike, while we got you, you know, it's not exactly theme park, but it's really fun and it's a destination. You got to go to LA Comic-Con this year, didn't you?
I did. So I really honestly planned on being there the whole weekend for LA Comic-Con. This was two weekends ago. And then in like the weeks leading up to it, we kept getting invitations for other media events that were happening during LA Comic-Con, which of course for my job I had to say yes to. So I only got to go for a few hours, but I desperately wanted to go in costume. I had made this costume for Halloween and nobody recognized me. Nobody knew who I was supposed to be. And I thought, well, you know, a comic convention would be, I'd have better luck there. And I definitely did. In fact, because this is me in costume there at LA Comic-Con as Pirate King Gorian Shard, who's a character who has only appeared in 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. I think he has maybe 5 minutes of screen time total. Where did that picture? Where did that come from?
In our article, somebody came from somewhere.
I don't remember posting that. Maybe my wife took that picture, but yeah, I did have about a dozen people very excited. Come up to me at various points during the afternoon and recognize the costume. But the most exciting thing was that I had a couple members of the actual costuming department from The Mandalorian approach me and compliment me on my costume, and I connected with them later on Instagram. And yeah, they were super nice, and it was just such an honor to be recognized by them for having put that together. They said
really cool.
Yeah, they said it was the first time that anyone had seen that costume.
So there weren't a lot of people dressed like that at Comic-Con this year?
No, in fact, in the article I posted, the photo post I did, I participated in the Star Wars cosplay meetup at LA Comic-Con, which happened to be Saturday afternoon when we were there at 3 p.m. And I stood like in the dead center, and you could see me as Gorian Shard there, and no one else is dressed as him. They're all, you know, Jedi and stormtroopers and other, you know, bounty hunters, Ahsoka and stuff.
Nice little shrub right there.
I know. It looks like they just posed the picture around a fern or something.
Nothing to be seen here.
You are right here in the middle. That is awesome. And just taking a quick scan, I do not see another costume more impressive than that. That is
thanks. It costs too much money to put that together and a lot of time.
But the best part is you can go there and be incognito. You're not constantly getting mobbed. Aren't you Mike Celestino? You know?
Yeah.
Right. I didn't get my once every other year of somebody coming up and saying, "Hey, you're from Laughing Place."
All right. Well, let's stay. We did Legoland. We did Comic-Con. Rebecca got to do a pretty cool theme park experience this year.
I was at Kings Island and I got to go to their Winterfest. They turned their tower into an enormous Christmas tree, which I totally fell in love with, and their large fountain into an ice skate rink. This is actually a live webcam that you can visit at their website and see what's going on. The event is on the weekends, but yeah, I had so much fun at Winterfest. I mean, the food is super tasty. I had turducken fries, but my favorite thing about it, I love glowy things, and they've taken that magic band type technology to the next level. I believe Mike said this is also available at the Cedar Fair Park in Southern California, Knott's Berry Farm. It looks like a little snowball, and it's got lights inside of it. And as you pass through various parts of the park, it'll illuminate to match like the decor around you, or when the parade goes by, it syncs up with the parade or the shows. It's super cool, but there's this little trigger on it. And if you have it set in the interactive mode, when you squeeze that trigger, it'll activate wands nearby you. And it's not only a light wand, but it's also a bubble wand. And so it's almost like being part of a little virtual snowball fight. So we would periodically nail each other. I was there with my friends, and we'd kind of wait until somebody forgot that they were holding it and it was shining in their face, and then you'd hit it and they'd get a nice face full of bubbles. So that was a lot of fun. We also dude, I took over the whole screen with the pictures. There you go. My friends rented an igloo because it was in the 40s, I think, because this is in Ohio. And it was like stepping into a little bit of Hallmark magic. It's nice and toasty, warm inside here. We took off our jackets. It comes with unlimited hot chocolate and also VIP access to the various shows. So you don't have to get there super early. You can, arrive during this window of time and be guaranteed a seat. They gave us a pound of fudge as we left. All sorts of various flavors. So it's a nice little rental. The lights around the theme park, I mean, it's just so beautiful, and it's a lovely regional theme park experience. I was really impressed with the quality of the shows and the various experiences that they had there. So yeah, check it out if you're in the Ohio area. Winterfest over at Kings Island. I had a blast. I went 2 nights while I was there, and I hope to take Doobie and Gideon next year because it was really fun.
Kings Island is a big bucket list for me. I'm excited to.
I got to ride Mystic Timbers this time, which is a wooden coaster because they shut down most of their attractions. So it's mostly shows and like dining experience, and then the ice skating rink. The big coasters like Beast and the Hyper Coaster and stuff, they're shut down for the season. They do have an indoor coaster that they then retheme to the Christmas season. So I think they call it I think it's called something of fear, and they changed the name for this time of year to something of cheer. I can't remember what the action word is before. And
I think it's flight.
Yeah, probably. And so then they Christmasify it this time of year. So so much fun. Yeah, I know, Gio, isn't it great? It's open on the weekends, and then I think it starts to open like more frequently as the season goes on. So yeah, I had the turducken fries were good, by the way.
All right, get back to Disney. Let's do some quick hits.
Okay.
Tokyo Disneyland, which we knew was getting a new Tomorrowland and a new Space Mountain, as announced when Space Mountain the current one will be closing next year. They are having an event called the Final Ignition, or a season called the Final Ignition. Give you a chance to ride it before it goes away. Their Space Mountain is pretty much identical to Disneyland's, I think. Did anyone correct me if I'm wrong?
I believe it's identical, but they don't have any onboard music.
Okay. And they are getting a major update. It's not supposed to reopen until 2027. So big doings going on over at Tokyo Disneyland. If you want to go to Tokyo and see this really cool thing on Laughing Place, get your applications in now at I'm only applying so I can go to Tokyo in 2027 at laughingplace.com. And, you never know. All right.
Making that up, everybody.
You can apply.
Do you just not to the hiring department of Laughing Place?
Oh yeah, that comes to me, and I have no sway over hiring whatsoever. But it'll be fun to get the resume. Over in the Polynesian at Walt Disney World, they have a Sea Witch. Does anybody like these things they put out? These mugs they put out at the Poly?
Is this in Trader Sam's, or where do you get this?
Equivalent in Florida. Trader Sam's in Florida, yeah.
Yeah. I have a bunch of them. I have the Nautilus.
Okay. Does this one appeal to you?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It comes with like a pearl in the middle. Is that what that is? What is that?
Yeah, Ursula the Sea Witch.
Oh, it's okay.
It's a representation of that cauldron that Ursula has.
Gotcha. Oh, so that's like her magic crystal ball type
ball type thing.
Mm-hmm. She has some tentacles around it. So it came out today, so you probably can't get one anymore anyway. So I hope you don't like it. But it was released today, and wristband distribution held daily starting at 12 p.m. Eastern time while supplies last.
I don't think these things go out in a day.
Okay, you're probably right. Run Disney
I will
medals.
be there in early January. Do you think they'll still have it?
Maybe. I would go try it.
I think they had it in Disneyland too. I think, or a very similar one came out a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Here. I don't know why I called you Michael just now. Run Disney has shown some of their medals for their springtime surprise weekend. Anybody here do Run Disney?
I don't do run anything.
Rerun, nobody runs in your family. So there's a look at one of them. They have a 10 miler, Stitch one if you do all the events.
What's the surprise?
These were races, I guess, that they used to do, and they're bringing some of them back. Kyle explained it much better this morning. They're bringing some of them back, and so they're calling it the springtime surprise.
Okay.
Does that help you at all, Mike?
No.
Okay. Didn't think so.
And you'll have to read the article on Laughing Place. The link will be below, and then you can learn all about the springtime surprise and why it's called the surprise.
Okay, and breaking news, Benji is back. Zootopia has shown some, these look actually kind of cool to me. So one of the things in Shanghai Disneyland, Zootopia Land are going to be some windows with the characters from Zootopia in them who are animated, as you can see. This is just a picture they released. This looks kind of cool. Anybody else thinks this looks kind of cool? Mike does. Good. Luke's nodding his head. Rebecca, okay. Everybody.
I think it looks cool. I haven't seen too much of it, but from what the small snippets I've seen, it looks great.
We rewatched Zootopia recently.
Really?
Fun. Like that movie.
I need to watch. I've seen it, but it more as a background thing, so I have no handle on it whatsoever.
We watched it with the family at Thanksgiving with my wife's family.
That's cool. When you have like the whole family together for something like that, you like assign each of them like, oh, you're most like this character, and oh, you're like that character. As you're watching it?
No.
Okay.
We did puzzles. We were doing puzzles as we were watching it.
Oh, nice.
In Tokyo Fantasy Springs at Disney Sea, Disneyland gets a whole new Tomorrowland. Disney Sea is getting this cool. Luke, you're up on this stuff. What exactly is this?
Yeah, so Tokyo Disneyland is getting, or Tokyo Disney Sea rather, is getting something similar to Water Frozen at Hong Kong Disneyland, but a lot bigger. They're getting Fantasy Springs, which is going to be a Frozen section, a Peter Pan section, and a Tangled section. And they showed off a look at construction on Elsa's Ice Palace, which I'll tell you, the one in Hong Kong is impressive, but this one looks like it's probably twice the size of that. So as always with Tokyo, they go above and beyond. So I'm very excited to see. There's 4 new attractions, I think, coming with Fantasy Springs, along with, like 3 mini areas, new restaurants, and a whole new hotel too. So there's a lot to look forward to at Tokyo Disneyland next year.
So as you look at, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. When is this? Is this scheduled to open 2024? That we know.
Yeah, in the spring.
Oh, great. I will likely be in Tokyo if all goes to plan in spring of 2025. So
as you look at Shanghai getting Zootopia, Disney Sea with that, Hong Kong just got Frozen Land, Disneyland getting a new Tomorrowland. Just remember, no major attractions currently under construction at either theme park here in North America. What?
They're in the midst of building the mountain that falls into the water in Tiana.
Oh, okay. You're right. No major completely new attraction.
I'm more on Doobie's side with this one. I think especially in Florida with Epic Universe coming up, they need to do more. But that's just me.
I will admit, I did forget Tiana's. That is not right. But that opens presumably within the next certainly the next 12 months. They said 2024. And as of yet, nothing beyond that has been announced.
Yes.
No.
Well, I would like to know how they've announced this e-ticket attraction for Avengers Campus twice and haven't started building it yet.
They're building it really tiny, and then they're just going to take it over to Pim's Kitchen and
right there you go.
Thinking ahead.
Yeah, build something miniaturized.
Last thing I wanted to mention today is the funnels have been installed on the Disney Treasure. Nothing we've said today is more important than this. The new cruise ship is coming along nicely. Can't wait. Can't wait. That's true, Gio. They have announced quite a few things. They just haven't done a lot of things. We know Indiana Jones, I think, or a dinosaur and stuff like that.
Oh, there's been all sorts of teases. Exactly. Yeah. And so it'll be interesting to see when those actually, there was the tease of Beyond Big Thunder. There was the tease of Animal Kingdom. So yes, we've had lots of teases. So we'll have to see what comes to fruition with any of the various teases that have been out there.
Yeah. Anything else anyone wanted to mention they've been doing or they didn't cover?
Oh, I kind of have some cool stuff that I saw. I've been to Vegas probably half a dozen times in my life, and I always wanted to stop at that Buffalo Bills casino. Luke knows about this. It's right as you get past the state border from California into Nevada. It's in Primm. The town is called Primm, and they have this Buffalo Bills casino, and it has a big roller coaster. And for the longest time, I wanted to stop there, and it hasn't. The rides aren't running, but we did stop, and I got to actually see it up close. There is a roller coaster, but the thing that looked cooler to me was there's like a log flume ride that goes outside and it goes through the casino itself, and I just thought it looked so cool. And I never have been there when the rides were running. Never got to do them in the heyday. Luke, you've been on these, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
But I've driven by
Okay.
Primm and I think around Primm. I want to say, and just being somewhat in on the coaster community,
Oh, sorry.
coaster might not be done for.
No, sorry. My finger slipped and I muted you. And I'm sorry, Luke. You'll have to repeat it.
It was perfect. I want to say and then mute.
I want to say.
Sorry.
But yeah, there's a chance that the coaster might be coming back to life, but I think the log flume is done for, because that's been closed for probably a decade at this point.
Yeah, it's a bummer. It looks like it cost a lot of money. They put a lot of effort into it. The theming is really nice. Yeah. I'm sad that I didn't get to do it when it was around, but it's good news to hear that the coaster is. But yeah, look, we were there. We were wandering around inside the casino, and there was this door open, kind of going backstage. I stuck my head in, and
Why'd you
it was
stick the rest of you in?
I did. I walked in there. I could go up. I didn't touch it. I didn't touch the rail, but I didn't touch the track, but I could have. And I found myself right there next to the roller coaster track. Nobody stopped me or cared. There were no security guards chasing after me. It was a little bit of like urban exploring kind of thing, but really neat to see that. I do hope that it opens again soon.
I went to this hotel when it was still open. I remember seeing the flume ride. I remember having a room right next to the coaster track, so you could just watch it all day, go right.
Oh, neat.
But I did not actually ride it. Kyle, though, says he remembers actually going on the flume ride, and yeah, it was one with the interactive targets where you could like shoot things.
Yes.
Anything else you want to mention? I know you went to the Pinball Hall of Fame while you were there.
Yeah, every time I go to Vegas, we go to the Pinball Hall of Fame. Love it. Spend a bunch of quarters playing pinball games from every era of pinball, going back decades and decades. And then we also did Omega Mart. This was my second time. Actually, so we had a group of 4, me and my wife, Tori. We had gone once before. My other friends, married couple, went once before. And we all individually had felt like we didn't have enough time to really get the full experience during our first visit. So we planned a trip to go back all together, and we gave ourselves like the entire day. And we ended up being there, I think it was like 4.5 hours. And we really like drank in the whole Omega Mart experience and tried to get the most out of the story and all the artwork and everything. And we even actually, like one of the, I don't even know what you would call them, one of the employees there came up to us as we were like wrapping up the main quest part of it and asked if we wanted more to do, more little avenues to explore, and he directed us to somebody called the Game Master, which we didn't know even existed. And we talked to her, and she started giving us these little scavenger hunts. It was like there were like hidden bananas, kind of like hidden Mickeys, but apparently, you know, they did bananas instead of Mickey. So it was like a dozen hidden bananas we had to find all around the place, and there were a bunch of things like that. We really got a kick out of it. Highly recommended. We also did the Beatles Love Cirque du Soleil. I've seen one other Cirque du Soleil in my life. It was the one that was here in Hollywood for a brief time. But I'm a big Beatles fan. Always wanted to see this one. I know it's been around for like 15 years or something, but I finally got around to it. Loved it. We sat right up against the stage. Amazing show. So many memorable parts. Recommend that one too.
Well, all right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today. Thank you very much, Luke, for sitting in and helping us out. If you like Luke, he is scheduled to join us Wednesday morning for our morning show to catch up what's going on in the world of Doctor Who, which
A lot.
Yeah, every other post on our site for the past week is Doctor Who. So I figure there must be something important going
When
on.
that's the only news that's coming out.
I was thinking that the Doctor Who stuff was starting to rival my churning out of Star Wars articles. So well done.
It'll calm down. It'll calm down after Christmas, but then we'll have a new series in probably like April or May. So ramp right back up.
Have you done the London Eye, Luke?
Yeah, many years ago.
Terrifying.
I vaguely remember it.
Was that featured in Doctor Who?
Well, it was featured in the very first episode of the revival, so we're talking 2005.
Oh,
but they had
that was why Doobie was bringing it up. No.
They had a blue carpet premiere there tonight.
Oh, okay.
In England for the upcoming Christmas special.
Yes, that's why I brought it up.
Okay.
All right. Thanks everyone again. Thanks, Mike. Happy birthday once again to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Luke, for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Rebecca, for marrying me. And we'll see you tomorrow morning.